Hello again, Owens here. I wanted to follow up on the conversation we had last week about setting our goals for the 2016 season. However, last week's talk really talked about reviewing what happened with your 2015 golf season. And in that conversation we had last week, I asked everyone to kind of look back and see where you were successful in some areas and where you may not have been successful in other areas. And in part of that conversation, I asked you to reflect upon the word lack. And the lack comes in where people find that they have a lack of ability to string a number of holes together in a row successfully, meaning you would par 2, 3, or 4 or 5 holes in a row, or maybe you're a low handicap player and your challenge is to be able to birdie several holes in a row. Or the views that you start to review on what happened last year, maybe you had a lack of ability to put the ball consistently in the fairway, a lack of ability to have less 3-putts. Basically, all people that seem to come to golf instructors for lessons, they're looking for more consistency. So that means if we're looking for more consistency, we're lacking consistency. And now we get to the point of, why are we lacking consistency? Where does this word lack come in? So to follow up what we talked about last week, as we are still preparing to set the goals for 2016, now I want to invite you to kind of take a look back and see the story that you've been telling yourself about your golf game. And it goes along the line about what we've been talking about with lack, but I'll give you an example here. I had a Skype conversation with a gentleman from Los Angeles this last week about his golf game, and in the conversation he's telling me that he becomes inconsistent playing generally in the middle of his round. So in his first 6 holes, plays pretty well. He's about a 15 handicap player. He's basically kind of confident coming off of the practice range. In the first 6 holes he does pretty well. Holes 7 through 12 or 13, fatigue starts to set in, mental fatigue starts to set in, and things start to go, let's call it southwards. They don't go really as planned, and when he starts to get on this negative roll, a couple things happen. He gets a bogey, then a double bogey, then another double bogey, so things start to really snowball on him. So I asked him, when this happens, what is it that gets you out of this funk? And his answer was, well, generally, if I hit a good shot, maybe something from the fairway, or specifically a par 3, if I hit a good tee shot on a par 3, that gets me back on track. I've seen a good shot again, and now I know I'm going to get back on track. So the story he tells himself is he expects himself to kind of have things go not so well at a certain point, and his story he tells himself is when he sees a particular shot appear, then he almost gives himself permission to get back on track. Now it's a little bit cut and dried and simple there, but many of us have these stories. I'll just add here that in his last 3 holes that he would play at this particular home course affair, which is has a tough 3 finishing holes, the story he tells him is that, well, I'm kind of settling for par on 2 of them. I'm probably going to bogey 1 of them. So I asked him, so you don't really expect to birdie any of them? He goes, no, those are very difficult holes, and I'm just hoping for par. So in this context, this is the story that he's telling him. So going forward, as you review 2015, I would really encourage you to look deep within yourself and reflect back on what is it the story that you're telling yourself. Because your story that you're telling yourself has a lot to do with the reality you see when you play. So as golfers, we seem to always want to take lessons, and we'll look for new equipment. But you can see, just like the gentleman from Los Angeles, he has this gap in the puzzle. He played well at part of his round, and he had this middle part of the round where things went awry, and even at the end of the round, it didn't really go that well. And this is the story he tells him. So there's a gap in his puzzle. He's looking for the whole answer, and this gap, he doesn't have the missing pieces to what this puzzle is. In 2016, that's what we're going to talk about. That's what we're going to tackle. That's where conscious awareness in golf comes in. If you're a person who has taken many lessons and you've bought all the equipment and you've been playing golf for a long time, you're putting a lot of time and effort and money into finding joy and consistency when you play. but there's a lack of something happening. Something's not working. Is it your story? Is it your beliefs? That's the missing piece. That's the piece of the puzzle that we're looking for. And it's the puzzle that we're going to start to look into for the year 2016. So it's that puzzle, that missing piece in the puzzle is what we're going to look into in the year 2016. How do we fill in that piece? How do we get our golf game to look like the puzzle is complete? All pieces are there. We, of course, aspire to be like a touring professional. They have great swings. They create great outcomes. They win major championships. We watch it on TV. It's our inspiration to play better golf. We want to have more consistency, more fun when we play. We believe many times that, hey, if I go buy that new driver this coming year, that'll probably help me to lower my score. Or how about a new set of irons? We can always use a new iron every 3, 4, or 5 years. New putters come out all the time. We're always looking to sharpen our short game. We know that putting is 41% of the golf game, so maybe a new putter will help. And of course, there's always lessons. I mean, that's what I've done for 25 years, helping people with their swing, lessons in groups, individual lessons, whether it be on the course or even using the latest technology, which is what I've been doing really for the last 15 years. But still, after all these aspects are exhausted, many golfers still have this incomplete part. The missing piece of that puzzle is not there. So in 2016, that missing piece of the puzzle is going to be given to you through my program of conscious awareness in golf. When I created the conscious game creation platform to teach from my book, which came out originally with Awakening to Golf in 2012, I knew that conscious awareness was the key to getting people to play better golf. In fact, my book, Awakening Golf, Unveiling Your Inner Power for Lower Scores, has come out almost 3 years ago to this day. And when I wrote the book, it was designed to enlighten people to see that their thoughts, emotions, and beliefs really are a powerful framework in how they are seeing their golf game appear before their eyes on the golf course. We all aspire to have more fun, hit better golf shots like we see other touring players play. But deep down, we want to have more consistency, of course, but more fun, joy, and excitement when we play also. So in 2015, I've asked you now to kind of look back and take a study upon yourself to find out what story have you been telling yourself about your golf game. And I think when you start to look into this, you're going to find that there's a piece of the puzzle that's unanswered. You're not sure what that piece of the puzzle is. But in 2016, that's what we're working towards. So my Center for Golf and Personal Awareness, that's what we work towards. That's what we're striving for coming up here in 2016. Take a deep look within and find out what your story is that you are telling yourself for the year 2015. And from there, we'll begin to set the stage for a successful 2016.